So here we are. A little Yuggoth update. So it's news from the outside world.
Yeah, news from Zenmord.
Yeah, we're in a new studio, you'll notice. We have a bigger space. Big live room. Now I'll take some pictures and show you. Show the people of Zenmord.
Mm-hmm.
We've also acquired a stump.
We did acquire a stump. It's been a big deal around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole neighborhood's been coming over to work on the stump, chisel away, hammer away.
Yep. That's going to be a table, though, for your...
A jewelry making table,
Yeah.
well, an anvil, to hold an anvil.
Right.
And a clamp bolted into the top. So that should be good, besides the allergies it's caused me.
So, yeah, any updates in the Yuggoth camp? I think we got some recordings coming out.
Yeah, what have you got, Peter?
Well, have the new Hemlock album is coming out. It's this prog band from Rhode Island. So I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Good crew. I've done some shows with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're working on the new Count Graje.
Yeah, fourth Count Graje album. 1 song down, 7 to go.
And what's the concept for this album?
It's a lot of more nautical themed stuff. There's some nautical horror and sort of the story of Owen Coffin and the cannibalism and the sinking of the Essex, which inspired Moby Dick. And yeah, just local folklore and mythology. We got the Round Tower in Newport, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
That's the intro song, is kind of centered around that, but
yeah, no one really knows what the origins of that.
Yeah,
some people say it's like
different theories. Yeah.
Viking, like Scandinavian,
right?
I guess like John Dee was one of the that helped build it or designed it for the Queen. I read that somewhere. He was like a alchemist.
And there's the guy,
Victorian England.
You told me about the guy, the author, who wrote the book, the eccentric fellow with the book.
Yeah.
He has his own theories about it or something.
Yeah. You should check him out.
I need to.
Yeah, his place is right over there. Yeah. But it's an interesting landmark, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we got our projects going on. I have my studio in my room, aside from this studio down here. So sort of doing the basic tracks up there and then bringing it down here where we can do drums and have the live room.
Yep. I'm going to get a violinist.
So, yeah, I have a violinist coming to play on a track and vocalist and different people coming in at different times. So I'm trying to get it done by the new year, really. Just work on it through the fall.
Yeah, we both applied to a grant, the Rhode Island grant. So
now we're in competition over that.
Right. But I think that would help the label and help us to be able to work on stuff more.
Right. We both
give us
win.
the time.
We both win if one of us wins on that, I think.
Right. And I think, I'm working on some classical stuff. I want to do another classical release of my material. So doing a bass piece for my friend Evan. It's going to be contrabass and electronics. So I'm working on the electronic part, which you probably hear emanating from
I hear the
rising up.
The frequencies, emanating from the basement, coming up through the floorboards upstairs, which is great.
Yeah, I might do a video about what I'm doing in that too, electronically. And it's kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah, it's always, I come down here, it's like a mad scientist laboratory. It's great.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So but we were also talking about recently we're thinking a lot about promotion and artists and how they promote their work and how we can promote our work, and because the whole landscape is changing and has been a lot different for a while now. But I think and maybe you can leave stuff in the comments, your experiences with being an artist and being able to balance the promotional with the creative aspect of what you do, because I think we've always spent a lot of time creating stuff, but maybe we haven't put as much time into promoting it, which I think.
Right. We talked about the thing of the 80-20.
Right.
You're supposed to spend 80% of your time on marketing and promotion, apparently, and 20% on the art, which is it's usually 110% of the time on the art.
Yeah, exactly.
For us, which is like, just doesn't work, unless you have a marketing manager. It's just not.
Yeah, because what we do is we have like an album that we're proud of, and then we release it, and not a lot of people can hear it, even if you do get it on
hidden
playlists.
away,
Yeah, but we're trying to get it on like bigger places where more ears get on it, and I think it's tricky though.
Yeah, it takes a lot of strategy and consistency.
Yeah, especially because the music we do is not mainstream, so it's kind of finding that niche,
right? Finding
audience,
your target audience, and making everything sort of streamlined so your stuff can be found by those who might enjoy it. That's the idea.
Yeah, and I think the label itself has always been sort of eclectic, which I kind of like about it, but I think the main thread is sort of, I want to say avant-garde, but more stuff on the fringes or stuff that's not mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's just creating a family of like-minded artists and musicians, that it's more about being authentic, I think, really, in any genre that I represent in the label. Yeah, just trying to figure out how to promote it better.
Right, and balance the time of wearing all these different hats of being your own marketing team and, being your own engineer for your recording session while being the artist as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of running around. It's exhausting sometimes.
Yeah, not to mention getting artwork together.
Yeah. And we always use artwork from actual artists, and
yep.
We're not doing the whole AI thing, but
no.
We like to have a relationship with the people that do the art for the albums, because that's part of it. And that's kind of why I do vinyl too. It's like the bigger format, so the art can kind of shine. And you used Lindsay's paintings.
Yeah, Lindsay Willette's painting.
Yeah,
painter from Providence.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool piece that she did, sort of botanical and mystical, swamp-looking.
Right, for the last
piece.
one.
Yeah, for the third album, Eyes of Pan, third Count Garage album.
Yep, looks great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, she's a talented artist for sure, and of course we both use Nick for our design and layout. RISD guy that I grew up with anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And Matt Jaff, we use on the Arcana stuff. And also, a lot of the lettering for the albums is done by Josh Yell,
right?
Another Providence artist that does calligraphy and visual art. So yeah, I feel like it's a big family, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is what I like about it, how it's expanded into that. And
right. Now we're pulling in people who, unsuspecting contributors like Luca. We both teach at the same music school, and we've roped a trumpet player into my latest album.
Right, it's great.
Which is getting people applying what they do to what we do.
Yeah, and he's the cellist Aliyah Ultan from New York on some of the soundtrack stuff I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great working with her. Yeah, and just finding these like-minded people, I think, to contribute. I mean, it's so easy to do like samples, and I do a lot of samples for a violin or cello or a trumpet, but when you get the real player, I think it's a big difference.
Yeah, and then there's creating your own samples, which we've both
done
a fair bit of. And certainly we did a lot of the sort of soundscape, sound design, like cinematic stuff, kind of making our own sound effects and all that, which is great fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Fall down the rabbit hole with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, each thing can just be such a time suck. And it's a lot of fun, but you just have to really carve out time. And then it just seems like some artists are so good at being really resourceful and just creating something quickly that serves a certain need, and they know how to target their audience, and they put all their time, like literally so much of what they do is just making it available to people.
True.
Where we tend to get into this really involved sort of corners, and it's like it's good because it's
like
what we're
fixated
passionate
on
about,
stuff, yeah.
and we care so much about the craft,
Right.
But so I think we're both in that camp of trying to
because I think
promote
it's
more.
like when we finish it, we're like, we kind of take our foot off the gas a little bit,
Right? Yeah.
And I think that's the time where you probably should put your foot more on the gas, like, or just keep that momentum going of like the creative aspect, and then because once it's finished, we're like, well, we got to just put it out,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll do like a few Instagram posts before it comes out, but it's not enough. I think. It's like
It takes some
getting
serious
press on it and
persistence.
stuff, and-
Yeah, it can't all be. I mean, we love making music, so it's easy to.
Right.
As soon as one album is done, it's like, all right, let's start writing something new.
Yeah, and it takes so much out of you, like you said, to make the actual album.
Yeah.
That after that, you don't really want to like
Yeah.
spend more energy to but you kind of
Right.
have to. I
And
guess.
now, we've both been on the robot there, ChatGPT, not to create work, obviously, but to figure
Maybe we
out.
should.
I know, right? But just to figure out, the best way to promote. Or we were dealing with the search engine optimization stuff this morning,
Yep.
just so that the work we've already created is can be
More
found.
accessible,
Yeah, if someone does a YouTube or Bandcamp or Google search, that it'll actually come up.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you want to try to make it, give yourself the best chance to get seen or heard,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you can optimize that.
And certainly we're all dealing with this, all creatives and musicians.
Yeah.
Most all of us, unless you're on another sort of echelon.
No, I think we're all in
a
the same
team
boat.
around you. Yeah.
Like visual artists and, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We know people in the literary community, too.
Yeah.
Which we're kind of connected to, but yeah, it's like a lot of hustle, But yeah, what do you guys do to sort of promote stuff or balance that? Leave some comments. And I always like to know what other people are doing,
We'll learn from you guys.
and then staying sane with all of this. I think,
Right.
because it's so draining, and it's so, especially you do it year after year, and like, obviously we do have like fan base, but it's like trying to grow more,
Right. Like TikTok has been the new thing for me, which I never had an interest in or wanted to get into. And it's taken me a while and some sort of failed attempts to even fundamentally understand what the heck a TikTok is.
Right.
And like, how am I going to use this platform in a way that works for me? And that's actually going to
right.
sort of describe whatever my brand is,
Yeah, I think
it's a lot to figure out, really.
I know.
And
It
a lot
is.
of time gets wasted anytime you're trying something new. There's like failed attempts as you start
it's
up,
so
and
like
it's like,
short,
oh no.
short-lived and sort of
Right.
ephemeral, right? Like the whole, you post something and then it's
But
Which
yeah,
is
at the
kinda
same
cool in a
time,
way,
it's like
too.
you have this platform that's this immediate
Right.
outreach that we were talking the other day about the control. Like that's the advantage of all this, of recording yourself and
Right.
doing your own marketing and your own sort of branding and choosing what artists you're going to work with or graphic designers. It's like you have control over everything, which wasn't always true for musicians, at least.
That's true.
So
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I think
yeah,
you have to take on wear all these other hats now, whereas other artists in the 70s and 80s didn't have to do that as much. They could just focus on the music or the art, but
I mean, yeah, back in the day, like so many players were gigging every night or doing, even multiple shows in an evening when they're starting out and just getting so much experience playing and just, never letting it. I mean, we're both sort of obsessive practicers,
Right.
So it's like kind of start to beat yourself up if you take a day or two or something. It's like crazy to take that long away from just practice, right?
yeah.
But when you're trying to balance life and all like the promotional stuff or whatever, even just mixing or something like that, and
Totally.
it's just like time that your hands aren't on your instrument, where that is the thing. So many of those great players were great because they just lived with their
right.
instrument in their hands and playing like live in front of people or interacting with their bandmates, and so much to be said for that. So that's like a danger that I try to navigate. You know, you kind of have to have a sense of people and performance, and to even understand, like, so that you don't get lost in your work, you know?
Right.
So I think that's like a danger for a lot of musicians, maybe artists as well, these days.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about how by this, you know, the other end of the spectrum is someone who spends too much time promoting, and and then they're like you're talking about, then their craft suffers, or they don't have, you know, it's you kind of feel like you need to get to that level where you do have something to say, and it's like a kind of well-oiled machine before you can promote it.
The rest of it is built on that foundation of like, do you actually have something you believe in? Yeah,
because then I think people can tell too if there's no substance there, if it's sort of
so that's really
not
the
authentic,
balance,
right?
Mm-hmm. To maintain that, which is like, you know, that's a lot. Like that, it feels like that ought to be enough, but that's just not the way it works these days. You know, there can be a lot of fun too, I think, in wearing all these different hats.
Yeah, and it's also controlling your financial. I mean, you always read stories about artists that were taken advantage of in the 70s and 80s and didn't make any money.
Right.
You know, they were like gigging a lot.
You can be creative about it.
Had a number one album and like not seeing any money from it, you know. So.
Obviously, the music is the focus, but even just making T-shirts and merch is always like the funnest thing when you're in a band or something.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, try to see it as an extension of that and be excited about it.
Totally.
Yeah, and also all the things of being your own sort of engineer or producer can like, you can, as a recording artist, make music in different ways. Like the actual studio practice can be a part of the way you make music, rather than just like relying on bandmates and your instrument. So that's cool. It kind of like widens your palette.
Yeah, I think I started recording my own stuff when I was in high school. It was like with the 4-track, just I love doing that. Like, because with the band, it's more of like a consensus between all the everyone, and everyone has to come to an agreement with something, which is cool because you're collaborating. That's a whole other topic, but like when it's your own thing, it's like completely your vision, and you're like the captain of the ship, you know. So.
Yeah, and you have to sometimes have self-imposed limitations because your bandmates are going to create limitations based on their taste and abilities and what equipment they have or whatever the case may be. But yeah, for it, that's the other side, is like when it's just wide open, you can make anything you want. You have to really narrow it down to have a focus.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, because you can get overwhelmed too by the possibilities, right?
Yeah, and like totally.
You know what I mean? I know that with like,
and then your whole theme is like sort of gets watered down. You know, it's
that's
diluted.
I think the most creative stuff and interesting stuff is when you have limitations, because you like become resourceful too. Because like, what can I do with this palette and these limitations? You know? Yeah, I think when I wrote the soundtrack for the horror, first Word on Horror soundtrack, I think using just cello in one of the episodes was really sort of freeing, in that I just wanted to use that sound. So I didn't have like a million samples I was drawing from. So in a way I got like more creative because of that limitation. Like, what can I do with just this one instrument, you know?
Makes me think of all the, you know, like we watch all these things of Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, how they do the sound design, and it's all
like sort of simple kind of sounds that are combined. Kind of.
With like they're making little mechanisms and
like that spring thing. For
and it's just so cool.
The wires, or whatever it was.
It sounds so real.
I always love that sound, the laser sound.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like a
the
telephone.
Slinky, or was it?
Yeah, Slinky.
Oh, yeah, there was the cable one for a different laser. But that's, you know, they didn't have access to just whatever. Well, I guess with
No,
Lord of
it's
the
like
Rings,
you're building your
they
own
did, but
catalog, kind of, right? Of
Yeah.
sounds, which is cool.
I guess with Lord of the Rings, it was more by choice. A lot of stuff was.
Yeah,
we
but they
just thought it
still
was
kind of made
better.
stuff, I think, from
Yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying.
Foley
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation. Is like narrowing down all these options that we have as musicians, and
Right.
even like what we're listening to. We have access to every kind of music
Right.
available. I remember I was younger. I was like trying to listen to like every composer ever, like just to like. And then I thought about the composers of the time. Like they were only listening to like what was around them regionally, or because there was no communication like in 1700s or whatever. Like, so it was like they're more like adding stuff to their knowledge base rather than with us. We're kind of like filtering it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a good
So
point.
it's different, yeah. How it's changed in that way with communication and like even just YouTube, like going on and you could look up anything and hear any kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think about that a lot, like how that changed how people create, in any aspect, even painters, right? You could see anyone else's work, and whereas if you're painting in the Renaissance or whatever, you might not see many other artists' work.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, we're gonna try to do like weekly episodes, maybe of and just sort of update everyone with what's going on with the label and all the projects we're involved with. What else can we? That's pretty much it for now, I guess.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah,
Am I gonna be too close to this? I'm like talking right into it.
maybe, but that's all right. But also leave some comments down below what you want to see us talk about, maybe what topics. I don't know. That's it, I guess. Signing off. We need like a theme song.
Do 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 do.